What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review. This one is the new TV show Cross, which is airing on Amazon Prime. It's based on James Patterson's characters in his book Alex Cross, and they've already been renewed for season 2. And this season 1 just dropped. So we're going to get into these recaps and reviews and see how this show flows. I wasn't sure about it. I was excited about it because I love me some Aldous Hodge. Usad's a sexy man. He's not only sexy physically to look at, he's sexy mentally. He is fine, okay? So, but I wasn't sure how to get into this show. When I first started watching it, it kind of threw me off. It was going a bit slow. It took me a while to get through those first 20 minutes. They threw so many different characters in, but they threw them in as if it was separate storylines, and they actually all weave together. So they did a shout out to Along Came a Spider, and that's basically what was happening. These characters were interweaving with one another. They kind of sticking to the same storyline because in the books, Alex Cross' Alex Cross was a widow. He had 2 children that he was raising. They lived with the grandmother, or the grandmother lived with them. His partner, Samson, existed. His new girlfriend existed. So a lot of the things are similar. But it did take a little turn, a little twist at the end that I was surprised about. So like I said, normally I have a certain flow with these recaps. I don't know what my flow is going to be. I'm probably just going to be a partner. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to really get down to the motive of things and how things really going on. That's probably how it's going to be. But this is season 1, episode 1, Hero Complex. So, Alex Cross, he on the outing with his wife Maria, his friend Samson, who is also his partner, and his wife Onika. Okay. It seemed like they was at an outdoor sports bar watching the Redskins game because they in Washington, D.C. And you can tell that Alex and Maria got this little lovey-dovey thing going on. And it's not so much that way in Samson and Anika's marriage. You know what I'm saying? They kind of settled in and they not all up at each other's grill. Because at first I thought that this was a girlfriend. I was like, they got this new love. But no, it turns out they were his wife and they got 2 kids together already, right? But Samson was telling them that they need to hold all that little smushy down because it's giving Onika feelings, you know what I'm saying? You know, give her ideas and stuff like that. Well, the ladies decided to go off to the restroom together. They said to powder their nose. I ain't never known a black person to say powder their nose, but here we go. They gonna say it there. And then all of a sudden, bang! A gunshot rang out. One singular shot. What makes me believe that that shot was intended for the person that it hit. And of course, you guessed it, it was one of the 2 ladies. And it happened to be Maria, Alex Cross's wife. So we're starting off this episode with a bang, literally and figuratively speaking, right? We go a year later. We at the precinct. Up until this point, you didn't know that he was an officer, but anybody that know this character know that he is an officer, detective. He worked for the local PD. He worked for the FBI. You know, both. So he's at the precinct, and Alex is filling out paperwork. He's trying to take a leave of absence. It is now 1 year after his wife's death. But there is an interrogation happening in the other room that catches his ear. So this little racist scumbag in there took out his own wife because she had an affair apparently and had a baby on the way, and it seems he 86 the kid too, right? So the racist dude was a total scumbag, and you know the officer that was in there currently interrogating him was being baited, right? And he lost his cool, lost his shit, and put paws on this dude. So they was about to let this man go because they really didn't have a confession from him. They really didn't have enough evidence on him. That's all they had was speculation. But Alex, from the other side of the room, had heard something in what the man was saying that let him know all he needed to hear. He said they got a confession, and this is how, right? So he went in the room. He checked homeboy. He said, you think you're smarter than Akbar. Akbar was the dude that was interrogating him in the first. And Akbar was also black, right? He said, you think you're smarter than him. You think you're smarter than me. And dude say, it's no question. Ain't no question. It's simple genetics. I am a white man. Y'all are Negroes. He didn't say that, but that's what he meant to say. And Alex say, oh, so it's genetics, huh? You think that's the reason why you smarter than me? You know what? You might be right. That's why my dick is bigger than yours. The lieutenant was like, what the hell? Is she the captain or she the lieutenant? She must be the captain. I think she the captain. But she was like, what the hell did he just say? You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, the dude was like, what did you just say? He said, my dick is bigger than yours. Baby, he stepped up to dude. Dick first. You hear me? He led with the penile erection. You know what I'm saying? And it was a nice print. Thank you, Aldous. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much for giving me that viewpoint in the very first 2 minutes of the episode. Right. The camera was all tuned in. It zoomed in and shit. I was like, thank you, hey. I was kind of slack jawed like a puppy in heat, for real. But anyway, I was like, Aldous, that's how you gonna do me? That's how you gonna do me in the first 7 minutes of the episode, right? You gonna expose all my lust like that? That's what we finna do? Well, shit, Lord have mercy. I lost my train of thought. Okay, anywho, child. The racist homeboy that was in the doggone cell, he was a bit shooketh. You know, how dare this boy talk to him like this? You know what I'm saying? He still trying to play it cool, but Alex was already on to him, right? And there was a key phrase that this man said that Alex had picked up on. It was a line from the play Macbeth that basically said that the man was suffering from guilt. What you guilty about if you didn't do it, sir, right? So he still was like, you know what? They don't mean nothing. You don't mean nothing. He said, well, I already got the DA come down here and take your ass. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't gonna last that long in the cell, trust me. So what he didn't know, that Alex Cross was smarter than a 5th grader. That's what the dude didn't know. Matter of fact, not only is he a detective, but he also has a PhD, okay? And he can read your ass for filth. And that's exactly what he did. Because the dude was in there talking about, I requested a doctor. You need to give me a doctor within 3 hours, or you need to take me to one, right? Well, they brought in a doctor. Dr. Alex Cross, okay? Now, I was a little confused with life. And why white folks in these movies always got the habit of capturing somebody and cutting them up. What is the fucking fascination that these white folks have in these movies with cutting people up? Like, do they have a passion to be a butcher in life? I'm saying, go on down to the meat market and put in the application. Stop cutting up random ass people in your basement and stuff. Or maybe they got passions to be doctors because they be having their little scalpel and everything. It don't be making no sense. Well, the creeper dude down in the basement, he got some black man tied up. And he got this little murderous scrapbook. Like, what murderous scrapbooking out here? He got this murderous scrapbook. He adding information to it, right? And the first dude, he finna cut off his locks. It ain't no telling what he about to harvest off the rest of that man's body. Next thing we know, the black dude, is inside a 1988 Cadillac Brougham, rolling up in the projects, dead as a doorknob, knocked out on the steering wheel, dead. Like he just nodded, head bald, all his locks gone. You know what I'm saying? Well, the dead man in the Brougham turns out to be this community activist named Amir Goodspeed. And he was working on the project to defund the police. Now, later on in the episode, we learned that Alex's girlfriend is doing the same thing. I need to hold that thought. Hope I can remember that thought. Hopefully I can remember that thought. Because something just came to mind. See, I'll be taking my notes as I'm watching the episode. But now, okay, I need to connect the dots there just a little bit, right? Okay, so he used to use drugs and, used to be a gangbanger. And Alec had, the chief of police came in and said, you know what, I really don't give a damn about him. For real. He blamed it on the police. So why should I care about this drug using gangbanger? And Alex had to correct her real quick. No, he's a former user, a former banger, and a current activist to the community who's looked up to by the people, right? And he said that even the police could have possibly have targeted this man to get him out the way. Because again, he's trying to defund the police. So to dot all their T's and cross all their I's, they are putting Alex and his partner Samson on the case. Samson is his last name. I can never remember Samson. Mustafa? Or is Mustafa his real name? Is his real name Isaiah Mustafa? John Samson. That's his name. I had to recall back to the books. But I'm just going to call him Samson. You may hear me flip back and forth from Cross to Alex. Forgive me. It's not a habit that I choose to correct. So basically they putting two token black faces on the case. That's what it is. And Samson and Cross know this. She was telling Alex that he needed to give a speech. You know, they got a press conference out there, and make sure he go out there and he tell everybody in the media that they not gonna leave any stone left unturned. And he like, the hell I will. No, I won't. I ain't finna do that. I'm not finna be your flunky. You ain't finna use me to cover your doggone ass, and there's something go wrong, then I'll be the person that you blame, because you know that's the fuck they gonna do. You know that's what the hell they gonna do, right? He said, not today. You won't. Not now and not ever. So that the story is that the dude Emir, the one rolled up in the Cadillac Broham, he OD'd on some meth. And I was like, what black person we know do meth? I don't even know a black person that sells meth. Where do we start that? When did this become a black people thing? I had to research it and look it up. Apparently, over the past couple years, meth has showed up 10 times more relevant or more present than it ever has been. So what they tell me, they poisoning the black people on purpose with meth, because black people didn't use meth like that. But anyway, anywho, they said he had enough meth in his system to get the whole neighborhood high. That's how high he was. And I was like, make it make sense. Because with that much, how was he able to drive that Cadillac Broham over to the projects? He'd have been dead on the spot. Samson asked a very sensible question. Y'all ain't got no other theories to OD in? Nothing like that? The lieutenant, she tell him, she a lieutenant, not the captain. She tell him, y'all need to simmer down. Simmer down. Don't be going all Sherlock Holmes on this case. We don't need y'all out here discovering the truth. We need y'all to just justify what the fuck we said. He OD'd. We want the family to shut the fuck up, because right now it's fuck the police to them. Okay? So Alex and Samson, they both know the family, because they kind of grew up in this neighborhood. They've been in, you know what I'm saying, they grew up with little peewees. They familiar with the doggone neighborhood, which makes it kind of interesting that they gonna take the lead on this case. But I can already see that he is the right person, because he picks up on little things, which makes me pick up on little things as I'm watching the episode. And one thing I noticed, they already delayed the autopsy. His sister said that he smokes weed, but there was no mention of weed in his system. He smokes weed, you know, periodically, but ain't no mention of weed in his system. Only meth. Okay? His head and his face was completely shaven. And I'm like, y'all claim he was shooting up meth? Didn't anybody notice any tracks on his arms? Ain't nobody mentioned that. But he was supposedly shooting up meth. Okay? And then when I learned about meth as I was researching when black people started smoking it, that usually taking pills are the causes for overdoses. Usually shooting up gives you long-lasting illnesses throughout your life, but smoking meth and taking the pills itself is what will cause overdoses. So I got a few questions. Now they did say they found a couple more pills inside the bag, or at least one more meth pill in a baggie, but they found needles saying that he shot up this dope. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Cross, he going out with his girlfriend. Her name is Elle. Grandma hanging out with the kids, and while they out in the streets, somebody breaks into the house. Now, the way that person bent over coming into the house, they physical build, and the way they cat walking down the doggone hallway made me know that's a woman. That was a woman. See, I'm picking up on the details that Cross may not see, right? And I was like, is it Malika? Now, Malika is Emir's sister. Cross and Samson went by the house and talked to the family. Of course, the family was upset. His homeboy, Tavio, was like blaming the police. Like I said, they all accusing them of taking out, you know, Emir, especially since they've done it before. A lot of Black Lives Matter protest people have been killed. Sandra Bland, to name a few. They was dropping names. They was saying their names through this episode, so you can remember these people. If you forgot them, go look them up, right? And I was thinking, is it Anika? I mean, not Anika, Malika, Amir's sister. Is that who that was, right? So we go to this gala, with Cross and his girl Elle. And if I remember correctly from the books, Cross's wife, Maria, the one who died in the beginning of the episode, and his next girlfriend, Elle, I don't even remember if her name was Elle, but the next girlfriend, they was all police officers as well. Everybody he dated in the books that I read were officers or part of the law, detectives or lawyers or something like that. They all had to deal with the law, but this is not Elle. Elle is actually running an organization, and her organization is attempting to defund the police. Isn't that interesting? Somehow, some kind of way, she tied in with Tavio. I don't know how yet, but some kind of way she is. Okay. So it seems that a male associate of hers, his name is Ed. He came up and spoke to her briefly about the donations they expected to receive that night. And he struck me kind of odd, right? Because he had a deep curiosity into Cross's work. Who actually follows a specific police officer or specific detective to learn about their cases and they are not in the field of law? Usually somebody that's committing crimes. That's usually who it is, right? Somebody who got a vendetta. He mentioned something about an unsolved murder with his mother as well and how he never got any answers. This man is holding a fucking grudge. You best believe that. He's holding a grudge. I missed how he walked into the room. I missed if he had the dainty walk like the person that was walking through the house, okay? But then I realized he wasn't the same person that was in the house. That's a different person altogether. I'm not even sure, like I said, I don't even know in my theory if they connected. But the intruder, when they came to the house, was going through taking pictures of the family and stuff like that, smelling Maria's clothes, like she's been dead a year. He still ain't got rid of her stuff. So she added something to the program. She put a scarf and hung it up nice and neat in the closet. I don't think we do that. I think we throw our scarves in a drawer or something like that. But okay. Or on the coat rack in the hallway or the foyer if they all got that. But on a hanger in the closet, I don't think so. Anywho, Ed, like I said, was definitely not the intruder. Because while they at the gala, the person is still inside of the house. This person has a personal connection to him. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a personal connection there. Now, while that person was in the house, Nana came back because Janelle had left her shoes. Remember, she had a track meet. So she almost opened the closet because she heard something and was met with the doggone knife. But she saw her shoes and was like, oh, you know how kids got that short attention span. So she was able to get out the house and not get killed. Thank goodness. I caught a glimpse of the person's face as they were leaving out. And I was like, very handsome face. Is what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Very handsome face. Kind of looked like a male, but it still had a very, very feminine walk when they walked out the door. And then I was like, oh, but is it the barista? Because we meet a new character. Her name is Shannon. She out there with her mom and she getting her coffee. And this barista see her and was like he knew of her, like he knew who she was and everything. And this motherfucker even took out his phone and took a picture of her. He was so obvious with it. I don't know how Shannon didn't notice this man taking a picture of her. How she didn't see that. Now, I don't know if y'all, while y'all was watching this, picked up on this, but me and Cross did. I'm telling you, we working together, right? So he went to get an update on Emir's autopsy. They really weren't told much to do about nothing, but the ME does not believe it's a suicide. What I picked up on and what Cross picked up on was the meal that they said Emir ate. Pork chops, asparagus, mashed potatoes, a chocolate cupcake with extra sprinkles. He was a diabetic. That's the first thing, right? And his sister said he was very mindful of setting off or triggering his disease, which is why he wouldn't mix meth with, being a diabetic, it mess with his fucking medicine and stuff like that. So it seems like he was very mindful of trying to take care and address his diabetes. And with that, I don't think that he would have been eating mashed potatoes or no fucking chocolate cupcake with sprinkles on it. Okay. Secondly, he said that he ate pork chops. Now, when Cross and Sampson went to the mama's house, she spoke on the fact that he turned Muslim while he was in jail, like most black men do. Okay, he came out and changed his name to Amir, like most black men do. They don't change to Amir, but they change to a Muslim name, right? Which means he ain't gonna be eating no goddamn pork chops. He not finna do it. Okay, now we get introduced to another face. We go into the barbershop and we meet Bobby Trey. I'm gonna call him Barbershop Bobby, right? I have been trying to figure out his face through the entire episode. He also played on the TV show Underground. With the first show I had seen, Aldous Hodge. I know he's been in a few other things. I think he's been on CSI. He was in Snowfall for a minute. He's been on a few things, right? But that's the role that I remember him the most in, is Underground. He got a text that alarmed him. It was a photo of a car, and the person who sent the text said, "This is the second time I've seen this car," right? It looked like the same car that the intruder was in outside of Cross's house. So it kind of threw me off there, right? And I don't know what it is that Barbershop Bobby do, but he was like, I gotta bounce. I gotta get up out of here, right? Now the chief, she getting on my damn nerves. She tells Cross, come on now, let's wrap this shit up. We gonna have an OD here, or we got a suicide. The media down my doggone neck, and I need to tell them something. I need to tell them something. Well, he say, it's murder. That's what you need to tell them. And she refuses to hear the facts. Like, bitch, what is your deal? I don't get it, right? She is like the epitome of bad fucking policing. He tell her the evidence is left, and she say, nah, it's backwards. Like, come, what the hell? She give him so much pushback. Why you put your best detective on this case if it's all you're going to do is fight him on everything he say? He don't seem like he was ever somebody that was a pushover. He don't look like he was somebody that's ever going to play by y'all rules. He talks smack back to y'all every chance he get. He makes sure he check y'all when y'all doing some racist shit as much as he get. What makes you think that this person was going to do and say anything that you want him to? Okay? He asked her, what you trying to do, boss? You trying to solve a crime? Or you just trying to make some good PR? Which one you trying to do? She say, fine, you got 48 hours. Just all 48 hours to figure some shit out. I mean, he been doing this for 30 years, according to Sampson. He done worked 15 cases with him. So he think he know a little something about what he doing, right? He's always trusted Alex before. And like, Cross don't know this yet, but I know it, right? But his theory is right. He said that this person is trying to change the victim into somebody that they're not before he kills them. And he wants to know why. And that's exactly what this killer is doing. He put out the murder scrapbook, right? And in the murder scrapbook was some man named Maurice Freeman, who had already been executed. I think they say he was given a chair. His last meal was the same meal that they had fed Amir. Okay, and at the time that Amir was found in that car, he looked exactly like Maurice Freeman. Once he shaved his head and shaved the beard off his face, he looked exactly like Maurice Freeman. So the theory that Alex had was accurate. Okay, so he started thumbing through the scrapbook, and I was like, okay, I solved the case. It's the barista. And the reason why I thought it was the barista was because the next lady was a lady named Carol. She was a murderer too. Had already been executed. She looked like Shannon, the coffee girl. Okay, but I don't know the motivation yet. That's what I'm trying to understand. I don't get it. He's taking executed killers and he's taking victims and recreating to what these executed killers look like just so he can kill them again. Is he the one with the hero complex? Is that what's going on? The title of the episode? His scrapbook is mighty thick, dog. He done did this before. His scrapbook is real thick. And ain't nobody noticed before in the doggone legal world that these people all getting killed. And there's some type of connection with them. But me and Cross on the same team. We gonna figure this out. So the title, like I said, gave it away a little bit. The hero complex. This man is mental. He's mental. He doing this to make himself feel like some type of hero. That's my theory, right? Well, anyway, the intruder, what the intruder had planted that scarf, it done showed up and showed out. Cross get a phone call from Granny, who got a phone call from Damon's school, which is his son, and he done wore this scarf to school. Now the principal and her talking about, we can't have no redskin paraphernalia in there. I don't know if it was just because it was redskin paraphernalia or just because he got a uniform that he has to abide by. Because remember, the Redskins, the mascots was supposed to be, or the logo was supposed to be racist to Native indigenous people of this country, right? So they fought for it and they changed the name. They now the Washington Commanders. And I said I didn't like the Washington Commanders name because it sounded like the Commanders in Handmaid's Tale. And then especially being over DC, I was like, that's too symbolic for me. Well, if y'all didn't know, they trying to fight to get the Redskins name back. The chief who the image was used by his family say they not offended by it. Put the logo back on there. That's the same way I feel about Aunt Jemima pancake syrup. Who the hell was the one that was fighting to get her off the box? I miss Aunt Jemima on my box of pancakes. Okay. Anyway, Maria, she was wearing a redskin scarf the day she got killed, right? But when Alex found her, ran to her side, the scarf wasn't nowhere around. It was never turned into evidence. I didn't even notice that in the beginning. There was a small little detail that I didn't pick up on. But since it was in his wife's closet, that's what he knew something wasn't right. First of all, why is Damon in his closet anyway? But still, he found it in the closet, in the house. He knew something wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So there was some little backstory with Cross not being in the metro portion of the police department, right? Apparently, Sampson told the higher-ups that Cross was having some issues, and it got him suspended for 6 months. Possibly obsessing over Maria's murder. That's what I assume. I was like, so how did they end up back working together? How did they end up on as friends again? Beats the hell out of me. He had a former partner who was this white chick named Kayla. Okay. She said she had worked on one of his most popular cases. And it seems like she got the hots for Cross. They may have had an affair. I don't know. I'm hoping not. But anyway, speaking of affairs, the barista is setting up his next victim. There's a dating profile being created so he can get to know her better. And Bobby from the barbershop, he used to be a cop, but he's not no cop no more. He comes into the precinct and he gets the tech guy to run these tags. Remember the car that was found, he got text that said the car had been seen twice? Run these doggone tags for him, right? And he said it's for a client. So I was like, is he into private investigation? What is he doing? Turns out the car belongs to Tavio, Amira's friend that was at the sister house earlier, right? And he's the one that was blaming the police for the death. Well, Cross, he goes over to Elle's house. She got this little shindig she putting together for her friends. Sampson is there, and it don't seem like he want to help Cross with the squad situation. Cross want him to take it to Q and trace DNA on it. And Sampson like, look here, you about to go down the rabbit hole, and I don't think I can save you from this again, right? Apparently the issue that Cross had before is he thought he had caught the killer, and almost killed the man. He would have killed the man if Sampson hadn't intervened. And that's what Sampson reported on him, his friend. But Sampson, I was like, you just stood 10 toes down with him against the chief, saying that after working with him all these years and all these cases, you trust Cross to trust his gut, and it hasn't steered him wrong. So why you won't trust him in this instance, okay? Why all the doubt now? Do you have something to do with Maria's death? That's what makes me wonder. You got something to do with the death? Elle, you got something to do with the death? Because like I said, she part of the defund the police program too. Okay, anywho, the shindig got a little out of hand, child. And there, I must say, I agree with Jared. This is the guy that Alex Cross got into it with. I cannot understand any black person that want to be a cop these days. Because when it comes down to doing justice, who you standing with? The community who's being oppressed or the oppressor, your boys in blue? We already know the answer to that. And we already know that the boys in blue ain't gonna stand for you. When it comes down to you and them, you black. Okay? But Alex, he got a short fuse in this particular moment because he already feeling tension between him and Samson. And, he said, check this shit out. Check this out. It's hypothetically speaking. And Elle like, let it go, let it go, let it go. He's like, no, ma. It's hypothetical. It's hypothetical, right? What if you over at somebody's house having dinner and you pop off at the wrong person and you get your ass beat? You know what I'm saying? Who you gonna call then, dog? Ghostbusters? What the fuck, right? Jerry say, oh, is that what you do, officer? When you in an argument and you losing, you beat the person ass, officer. Basically, that's what they do. Facts, Jerry. Where was the lie? There was no lie told, right? I was surprised how Alex lost his composure. He had Jared's ass jammed up against the wall, salad dressing dripping down his lip in seconds, okay? He even broke Elle's great-great-grandmother's fine crystal. He even broke that, right? So this was a very different composure that he had for the white racists at the beginning of the doggone episode. The other officer, Akbar, in this case, was out of control, and him and the doggone dude up. And Alex had the motherfucking cool hand. But not against Jared. It triggered the fuck out of him. And I was like, hey, I love you, Aldous, but the truth hurts, my boy. The truth hurts. Aldous like, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I mean, she said it in a supportive way, but that's the way I would have said it, right? But, because the intent is the same. She like, we're supposed to be in this together, okay? You having these little angry fits, and you won't tell me why. And I need to understand what's going on. He's shutting her down, shutting her out left and right. And she's like, no, sir, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about this now. Okay? She overheard Samson tell him that he needed to get some professional help. And she's like, help for what? What is going on? And just like most men, they feel like they're supposed to be the protector. And if somebody that they love gets hurt and they are in proximity, they feel like they should have been the ones to protect him. And when he couldn't, he don't feel like a man. That emasculates him. You know what I'm saying? He feels powerless. So he's been raging against the machine. He said, though, that he had already had, issues growing up. He used to always fight in school. When he went into the academy, he failed 2 psych evaluations. And I'm like, don't nobody think there's something wrong with that? I know Aldous Hodge is fine. Alex Cross, fine as a mug and everything. But you failed 2 psych evaluations and they still put a gun in your hand. This is why a lot of officers are in the field that they are in now, because they choose to overlook patterns and behaviors that would just signify that these motherfuckers may go off the rail on the wrong person one day. These motherfuckers may hurt somebody and attempt to kill the wrong person someday. That's what I'm saying. You failed 2 fucking psych evaluations. I know you got a PhD. Matter of fact, you got a PhD in psychology, and you still failed 2 psych evaluations yourself, and they still put a fucking gun in your hand and a badge on your chest. Something wrong with that. Something is wrong with that. Now, anyway, Kayla come back. She come around and tell him that she found out who has the burner phone. And they had video. And the video of the person showed that it was Tavio. Okay. Now, again, they knew what Tavio was going to be because Emir's going to have a vigil. So they decided they're going to run up on him on the damn vigil. And when they run up on him, Emir run. I mean, what's the boy named Tavio? He run. And I'm like, why the hell would you be running? Y'all friends. You had the right to call your friend. So why you running? This fool even started a doggone gunfight. Not only did he start a gunfight, he took a fucking hostage. Like, make it make sense, Tavio. Make it make sense. Well, it didn't make sense. Not at all. Because as they was bringing him through the crowd was upset, like, fuck the police, fuck 112, all that stuff. Talking cash money shit to the police. And somebody put a bullet ping, right in the middle of Tavio's head. He dead now. So no sense can be made. None can be made at all. And child, I had forgot all about this person. Guess who it was? Bobby the Barber. Bobby the Barber. And Bobby the Barber picked up the phone and he called Ed. And I thought it was the barista who was making the profile picture to date Shannon. But since the barista is the one that took the picture of Shannon, that means that Ed, Tavio, and the barista are all working together. And for some strange reason, I'm feeling that Kayla got something to do with it too. Some strange reason, I think that Kayla was the one in that house. If it wasn't Kayla, it was Elle. I don't trust neither one of them two women. Sorry, Alex, I don't trust her. Well, anyway, Shannon was in the doggone spot. You know, Ed was about to meet her. He'd already matched her on Cupid.com or what have you. And I was like, whoever it is that got this vendetta directly with Cross, though, has long blonde hair, which isn't Elle or Kayla. Neither one of them has long blonde hair, but that doesn't even matter. There was a long blonde hair that was tied to the scarf that they was able to run DNA on. And you could tell it was intentionally put on there because they tied it on there, right? And at the same time that Samson is telling him this information, a third set of flowers shows up for Alex. He'd been receiving them at the station all week. Now he get a third one on his front doorstep. Now the driver seems very weird. The driver just left the flowers on the ground and walked away. And then Alex went up to him and said, "Hey, who sent the flowers?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm just delivering." "Where you pick them up from, sir? Who you delivering them from?" Okay. Well, there was a card that was attached. And in the card was the picture that the intruder stole off the refrigerator. And he gets a phone call at that exact moment. And it was a woman on the other end of their phone line. I told y'all the intruder was a woman. And the intruder was antagonizing him. The woman on the phone was antagonizing him, saying, "I bet you don't know your wife's last words. You want to know what they were?" "I know what they were." Okay? And Alex is like, "Who is this? Where you at? Where you know? Who are you? Where are you? Where are you?" And she say, "We'll meet soon enough." Click, and hung up on that ass. Hung up on him, okay? That's exactly what happened. And that's how the episode went off, child. That's how it went off. So like I said, it started off kind of slow in the first 19 minutes, but then it started to pick up. And we getting introduced with a whole lot of characters. They had thrown a whole lot of characters at us at one time. This first episode seemed a bit overwhelming for me. Like they, I don't know, they was trying to rush the pace. They didn't know they was gonna get a second season, and now they are. But so far, you know, we're gonna stick with it, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being patient. If you haven't liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button, thumbs up for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And if you'd like to keep this channel running and donate to the channel, hit the thanks button and send in a little donation. I appreciate it. Peace.